So if you earned the legendary set, you can, once Shadowkeep drops, you'll be able to come over here, talk to our friendly neighborhood gunsmith, and gunsmith is going to have an upgrade package for you that you'll be able to grab. And when you do,
bam,
you're going to get your full Armor 2.0 set of Solstice gear. Yeah, so one of the first things you'll notice is that with the introduction of Armor 2.0, we're also reintroducing Intelligence, Discipline, and Strength, the 3 stats from the first Destiny game that will now sit alongside Mobility, Resilience, and Recovery, from the stats from Destiny 2. And those stats now, instead of scaling from 1 to 10, will actually scale from 0 up to 100. And if you tooltip over them, you can see we've added some information about what each of these stats does and shows you where you're at on that 0 to 100 scale. So for example, mobility, one of the things it does is it increases your base speed, and each of the stats has breakpoints at every 10 points of stats, so 10, 20, 30, and once you cross that breakpoint, cross that threshold, you enter a new tier. And so once you're in a tier, that's when you gain the benefits of that, the increased benefits of that tier. So for example, right now you can see mobility for my character. I've got 30 mobility that puts me at tier 3, which gives me the 12% base speed increase. And you can see resilience is giving you extra shield capacity. Recovery helps you recover more quickly from when you get damaged. Your discipline is going to govern your grenade recharge rate. So the higher your discipline, the faster your grenade will recharge. Your intellect will increase your super ability or decrease your super ability cooldown time. And your strength will decrease your melee ability cooldown time. So basically, these 6 stats are the first thing that you'll notice on the character screen. And you're getting these stats from the armor itself. So each set of armor is going to have some number of points in each of the 6 stats. And they all combine together to give you your total. And of course the class item doesn't have any stats on it, but these basically will combine together to give you your total. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be collecting armor, finding the right combination of stats for the build that you want to make, and then putting those pieces together to help create your particular build.
Cool. My ghost is over my shoulder, and my sparrow is right behind me. So yes, you can observe your ride and how well it pairs with your armor. We're investing a lot more in your personal vanity, your personal creative expression of what your hero is. And yes, confirmed, Glimmer Cap has been raised to 250,000.
Yes. And so everyone's going to have a different method of deciding what is the right thing for them to do to make their character. So for me, I like to start with a pretty straightforward concept of how do I want to play in the fire team with these other two. So I want to play a support character. That's what I like to play. I like to play healers and defenders and people that basically buff up my allies. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a support character. I'm going to play a Titan using Ward of Dawn as my super.
Okay.
I've picked Lumina as my exotic hand cannon, and then I also have Tatara Gaze and an Avalanche, so that basically I'm covering all 3 of my damage types there. And so since I'm going to be using these weapons and I'm going to be building a support character, I'm going to really focus on trying to keep my melee up pretty often so I can give out overshields to people. I want to keep my class ability up because I'm also going to use the Crest of Alpha Lupi here.
Okay.
And so that's the sort of core that I'm going to be building around. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick my mods based around that. So exotic items are all converted over to Armor 2.0 so that when they drop in the world, they will be Armor 2.0ified.
Yeah.
That's a word, by the way. But also, we've gone in and we've changed over all of the exotics in your collections so that if you've already collected a particular exotic, you'll be able to pull it out of your collections as an Armor 2.0 piece.
Cool.
It'll have a fixed roll, so you'll still want to go out there and find drops that have a different roll that suit your character, but you'll be able to get a version of it out of your collections. And so one of the first things you'll notice is that the randomized perks are gone and instead have been replaced by armor energy and armor mods. So we have 3 mod sockets down below and we have energy up on the top. And so just to talk about that a little bit, basically each type of armor will have an energy type and an energy amount. This number goes from 1 to 10, and this number can be upgraded. So basically, the energy amount tells you how many mods of which energy cost can be socketed in. So just a quick look down here, we can see that, for example, the Paragon mod costs 4 energy. The Void Resistance mod costs 1 Void energy. So Void mods can only be socketed into Void armors. Anything that requires any energy can go into any armor piece.
You have a budget to spend now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but your budget is not maximized there. You
it
have
is not
5
yet.
out of 10.
Yes, and so what I'm going to do is just to sort of show you how this works. Basically, I know that I'm going to be using my sniper rifle a lot because I want to get that super energy because I'm going to socket in another mod from that. So basically, when I go down here, I can look at my mods. I can see some of them are grayed out. That means I don't have enough energy to socket those in. If I move my cursor over it, you can see that the energy bars start to fill up and flash up there saying, hey, this is how much energy this mod is going to consume.
Yeah.
If I move my cursor over one of the mods that I don't have enough energy for, you can see it turns red and it shows me, hey, there's 1 energy bar there that we'd still need to be able to socket this in. So I want to make sure I've got this enhanced sniper rifle targeting because I don't want to look bad on the stream when I miss a headshot. So
no one wants to
I'm going to go ahead and upgrade here. And so now I've upgraded a few and I've got enough energy for it, so I can go ahead and socket this in. So now I've got enhanced sniper rifle targeting right there waiting on me. And it's also worth noting that mod didn't go away. Right.
Unlocks are the future.
Yes, all armor mods are unlocked. So once you've acquired it once, it is then unlocked forever. It can be socketed into as many pieces of armor as you want, unsocketed, whatever, like however you want to do it. We thought this was important because we want you to experiment with your mods and experiment with your builds and be able to swap things out. So basically, once you've got it forever.
As you unlock these different masterwork tiers, we can see that there are some new materials, there are some new economies in play here. We've seen, look at this, Ascendant Shards.
Yes. Yeah, so we do have some new materials that are going to be required to upgrade these that will be available from various reward sites throughout the game. And then once you finally upgrade your armor to its top tier, one of the things you'll be able to notice, it's a little difficult to see right now. Here, let me move. There we go. Is that each of my stat bars shows an increase there. You can see the green on the side of the stat bars.
Yeah.
That's because when you upgrade an armor to its full masterwork level, it actually gives you +2 to every stat all the way down the line. So basically, that's the benefit you get in addition to being able to put in more mods into your armor.
Sure. The topic of enhancement cores, masterwork cores, acquiring these things has been a very loud topic of conversation in our community. I'm told, and I'd like for you to confirm for me again, there are multiple different sources for these materials. So if you find yourself if you find yourself going and doing way too much business with the spider, we have new pathways that you can travel to earn those things.
Yeah, there's going to be new ways to get them, and there's also going to be ways that you can sort of upgrade into the more advanced advanced materials as well. So yeah, we hope that it's going to be a process where you sort of see, okay, here's what I need to do to get the things that I need to upgrade my armor.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about this a little bit more actually when we are in Germany for Gamescom. We'll be talking a little bit more about how the Nightfall will play a role in your acquisition of these materials. And then later on we'll talk about seasonal progression being a way that you can acquire these materials. But we do not want this to be a famine. We want you to get out and play Destiny and earn the things that you need so that you can have fun building your character and customizing it so it's really an extension of the way you like to play.
So I've already got my enhanced sniper rifle targeting in, and now I want to go ahead and make sure I've got plenty of ammo for this. So one of the things we've done is we've broken out the ammo finders into specific weapon ammo finders. So I'm going to be going in here and getting my sniper rifle ammo finder. We've also made sure that the ammo finders, they not only work a little bit more reliably, but they also show you that they are working a little bit more visibly. And hopefully when we get into the actual gameplay, we'll be able to show off exactly what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and socket that in. So I got 1 leftover energy. I've got 1 open socket over here, so you can see that, hey, a lot of these are grayed out, but I've got some choices down here. I can get void resistance, minor resist, or major resist. I think for this one, I'm going to put in major resist, just because I ain't scared of no minors. And yeah, so that's my helmet. And so now I'm going to go over here and start working on my gauntlets. So let's see here. I think I'm going to be using my Lumina a lot to buff people, so I think, and that's probably my primary, so I think I'm going to go with Enhanced Hand Cannon Loader. Put in there. I need to upgrade my armor a little bit here, so I can get my full energy amounts there, get my full masterwork. Let's see here. I could also do Sniper Rifle Loader. I'm not going to be using my grenade that much, so I don't think that one's going to benefit me too much. I don't have anything for my machine gun right now, so I think actually what I'm going to do is go with my large weapon loader here so that I've got something for my machine gun. So my hand cannon and my machine gun are going to have a pretty good reload rate. I've used up all my energy, so nothing in my general socket for this one.
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
interesting how you're letting people really double down on the things that are important to them with some expensive mods, but if you want to diversify a little bit more, you can pick some of the cheaper options and have different skills across the spectrum.
And it's worth noting in this particular one right here, I picked an enhanced mod and then I picked a broadly useful mods, and those are pretty expensive. If I instead was to pick something more specific, like my sniper rifle loader, it's a little bit more on the expensive side because there are both special and heavy sniper rifles, and also the reload time on a sniper rifle is really, really important. But if I was just using regular hand cannon loader, I would be able to afford more mods. So basically, you kind of have to make a choice about how important it is to you, and it could be that based on the perks that you have on your particular hand cannon, that reloader mod isn't as important to you, right? So it's going to be about weighing what perks I have on my weapons, what perks do I need on my armor to live that gameplay style that I'm aiming at. All right, so now I got to go in and start. Don't have much energy on my crest here, so I'm going to go ahead and crank this up.
While you do that, Miss Noodle in our Twitch chat is asking, do we have to acquire these mods before we can use them?
Yes.
Yes, and how? Where will these mods be found? How can players expect to be acquiring these?
Yeah, so the mods will actually drop from about 3 different sources. You'll be able to get them from the gunsmith. He will both sell mods on a rotating basis, so basically they'll rotate through and you can just buy them from him. You can also get them from gunsmith packages, so if you get the gunsmith engram, sometimes it will include a mod. You'll also be able to get them from just world engrams, and then also some of the mods, like the enhanced mods, will come from engrams that you'll get from Iron Banner and the Raid and other Pinnacle sources. So basically, they're grouped into big chunks there. So that's why you'll be able to go get them.
So it seems like there are some themes to the types of impact that different types of gear have on your build, right? It looks like the boots here really indicate what sort of ammo you're acquiring.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things we do is we make sure that basically for the sockets that are armor piece specific, like these are the leg armor mods, there are certain mechanics that are only found in there. So all of the scavenger mods are down here as well. Plus traction is on the boots. If you look at the chest, basically that's where the capacity and the unflinching ones are, mods are. And this is similar to how things are distributed in the perks right now and the random armor in the game right now. But we've just sort of doubled down on making it so that they have a very clear, hey, these are boot mods, these are chest mods, etc. The one thing that is nice, though, is that because these 2 slots are they're both just leg armor slots, you can have a scavenger mod and a scavenger mod, where you couldn't have that before, right? You couldn't have 2 scavenger mods, you couldn't have 2 unflinching mods, right? If I wanted to, I could have unflinching sniper rifle and unflinching hand cannon if I wanted to, right? And so you have a little bit more flexibility in how you what kinds of mechanics you have access to at any given time.
So majestic.
Yes. So now I have put in a full suite of mods on all of my armor. And one of the things people can see is that the mods that I've socketed in, it is put those tooltips down there. The UI team did a great job of coming in and making sure that the tooltips reflect the changes in Armor 2.0. You can see an armor's energy type, its energy amount, you can see its stats, you can see the fact that it has fully masterwork stats. I didn't call it out, but one of the things you might have noticed is that the intellect mod, well, you won't be able to see it on this one actually, but let me go back to the legs. Sorry. Yeah, so the strength mod here, when I move my cursor over it, the stat bars actually change, so I can see like, hey, this is going to add to the strength of this item. So it adds it in, and you see the strength bar actually goes up. So you can see exactly what your strength has gone up to because I had that mod in there. I gotta make myself look pretty.
Come on, yeah, let's go.
I can't not play the fashion game a little bit. Yep. So I like my Solstice gear for the most part, but I think I want to change out this headpiece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go into my ornaments and I'm going to find. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the one.
So these are the universal ornaments that we gave sort of just a conversational textual preview of in a previous conversation. And I mean, this is a huge shift for us.
It is.
Playing the tactical game, building the perfect tactical guardian meant that your style choices took a back seat. You could apply some shaders and try to get yourself closer to how you want to look. But now, when you look at a guardian, at a glance, you're not necessarily going to know how they fight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we don't do is we don't overwrite the exotics, right? So you're always going to be able to recognize the exotic that someone's wearing. But yeah, you'll be able to change your appearance. And we felt like it's important because like people want to play the way they want to play. They want to look the way they want to look. And I feel like they should be able to do both of those things without a lot of friction. So we're starting this off. This is the first steps in that direction. But we're starting it off with the universal ornaments, which you can see I put on my fancy bighorn helmet here. So yeah, that is my. Look at that. Right? Beautiful, magnificent
nice.
Titan there.
Now, if you have achieved the glow in Solstice of Heroes, we don't have that in this development build, but we do want to call out that you would be able to apply that glow to this Guardian.
Ooh,
so those are things that you get to bring forward with you into the third year of Destiny 2.
And I want to point out that some of these mods stack with each other, like these discipline mods. They'll stack with the ones you put on other ones. Other mods, like the mods that show up in these two slots, you can't put like double rocket launcher scavenger in both of them. If you assign one, then you can't assign it in the other. But they're pretty low labeled, like what stacks and what doesn't stack, I'd say.
In some occasions, it won't even let you equip a mod that doesn't stack, right?
Yeah, if it doesn't stack, it'll just be like you can't equip
They'll
this.
get grayed out.
Yeah. So now I am at tier 9 of discipline, so I get my grenade back in 37 seconds, pretty quick. So I'm using 2 special ammo. So that means I really have to do a lot to focus on ammo for those 2, since I will be running dry. So for my other 2 slots, I'm going to focus on, you've got fusion rifle ammo finder and linear fusion rifle ammo finder, because this is going to be what generates most of my ammo, since I'm going to be running low. So you'll notice like the energy types, they're different, and depending on the energy type, that controls what mods are available. So it's only showing me the ones that can go in this armor, stuff with no energy type requirement or stuff with arc energy type requirement. Another thing I want to show is when you hold down left trigger to compare your armor now, you get a nice little flyout window that gives you the full descriptions of all your mods and perks, which is handy for a quick glance, so you don't have to go into the actual item to read it.
That's really cool.
So that's a nice quality of life thing from the UI folks.
See, I'm actually going bottom path Void Hunter, and I know top path and middle path are the most popular options right now. And so the Sandbox team actually did an update to the Void subclasses, gave them a little bit of love. And so I kind of want to show it off a little bit here, show that the bottom path actually is viable now. And so I'm just going to quickly hover over these things. I won't go into too much detail. You guys can screen cap it or whatever you want out there as you're watching the streams. But the main thing is like there's a really cool synergy now between the smoke bomb that the hunter has as well as the grenade. And so those 2 things kind of tie back and forth into if I can throw my smoke bomb down, and with the bottom path, as many hunters know, it actually makes you and your allies invisible. So I'll be doing that often in this stream, but that actually recharges my grenade energy. And then when I have my grenade up and I throw that on an enemy and it starts to tick the enemy with damage, it actually increases my melee energy charge. So I'm actually able to kind of create this cycle of feeding those two things back into each other.
And
with the Solstice gear, the Hunter will automatically roll with arc energy. And arc actually has an affinity with shotguns, and so this actually ties those two things in really well. And so now I'm actually gonna, if you look over at my stats and kind of see like where I'm speccing into, I definitely have a good amount of points into, like I was saying earlier, with like trying to get my melee up more often, and then I'm gonna try to have my super up pretty
good and
frequently as
balanced
well.
though. You're decent at just about everything.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of cooldown recovery from his build, so it's doesn't need it quite as much from the mods.
Exactly, and as the season progresses too, like right now we have a bunch of the mods already unlocked for us, but there's other ways that, like the artifact, for example, that we're not diving too deep into it today. It'll be able to give you mods later on the season, and those the offerings from that also change season over season. So just because you saw this once doesn't mean that you're good for the entirety of your Destiny life.
So popular question from all of the chat rooms that we're monitoring right now. We're going to have all these new mods to pick from. What does this do to the old mods?
So we're not actually going to deprecate any of the old mods. You can hang on to them. You can keep using them. You can keep using your pre-Armor 2.0 armor as well. It won't burst into flames or anything, right? So it'll still work.
So if I have a god roll, that nothing will part me from this god roll. I can keep that. I can keep modifying it.
Yep. I think you're going to want to eventually switch to Armor 2.0, but you can transition over. But also mods dismantle into mod components. Mod components are what you're going to use to buy mods from the gunsmith. So if you want to get rid of like a bunch of old mods that you're not using anymore, you'll be able to convert those into the new mods as you buy them from the gunsmith.
A nice symbiotic economy, but it still gives me options I can use for everything in my in my vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll see that ammo has a special glow on it. That means that that ammo was specifically generated from my ammo finder perk. So you can kind of tell, like, oh, it's actually doing something. That's how I can tell.
And at the moment it happened, you also get an indicator on your HUD as well, so that if it happens in the middle of a firefight, you can see that you get a little buff that tells you, hey,
you done did it.
You got it.
You
got
done did
ammo.
it.
You done good. You did good.
We talked earlier a little bit about how you're going to be able to pull your exotics out of your collections.
Yes.
We didn't really mention anything about legendaries, and I think it's worth pointing out something that I'm really excited about. All legendary armors in the game are going to drop as Armor 2.0 from Shadowkeep on. So basically, any armor drop at that point from any source that's legendary is going to be an Armor 2.0 armor. So that means all the planetary armor sets. If you go back and do an old raid or escalation protocol or whatever, or Dreaming City, or take your pick, right? It's all going to be dropping as Armor 2.0 armor.
Even if you're pulling it off a vendor, like if Anna Bray has my favorite Warlock chest piece because it looks like Tuxedo Tails, I can go back and say, hey, give me the new stuff.
Yep, we updated those they have fixed rolls, so you're still going to want to get a drop because the fixed rolls tend to be pretty, middle of the road-ish.
Yep.
So if you want to, you're going to want to be chasing better stat rolls that fit the kind of build that you're going to make, or higher stat rolls, honestly. So you're going to want to, still get those drops, but if you just want to grab one of the vendor pieces, it will be Armor 2.0.
So as you can see, whenever I chuck my grenade and I'm actually able to hit something with it, then I'll be getting my melee cooldown back. And then the other cool thing is if I can get myself and especially allies with the smoke to make us invisible, then it'll also increase my grenade cooldown.
Also, if you make me invisible while Arc Buddy is out, Arc Buddy shooting does not break invisibility.
We've seen mention of this in chat, but indeed, if you look at your teammates in any instance, whether you're in the tower or if you're on a strike, over their heads you can see which class they are. So if you want to make some immediate educated decisions as to how someone's playing, we're not giving you a number over their heads now. We're letting you know if they are Hunter, Titan, or Warlock specialty.
So one of the big ones that I'm really relying on right now a lot is my ability to give overshields to my allies with melees. And I've got to basically stick with my friends and get those melee kills, but the Titan, the Defender Titan, is able to basically give himself and his allies an overshield with the melee kill, right? And so one of the things I was doing when I was building with my mods was making sure that powered melee was up pretty often, because basically if it's already kind of a challenge to be in close proximity to your allies and also getting a melee kill at the moment when they need it. So I want to make sure that if I'm in that situation, I've got my melee up and ready to go.
Eureka.
All right, do it. Yeah. Tell us a bit about that that shadow shot.
Yeah, so the shadow shot actually got a buff, especially with its damage. So you're gonna, especially in PvP, but even in PvE, you're gonna feel a good amount of damage from it.
It's true.
Right.
That's what I do.
All right, y'all ready for this? Here
We're
we
ready.
go. We got bad guys. Boop.
All right.
And you might notice Weapons of Light
Yep.
back by
Yeah.
default.
Yep. It's must-see GG, Weapons of Light. I believe that was the first instance in chat for Mixer. Let's see, over on Twitch. Over shield outside of Bubble. Chat prepared. Bubble time. Weapons of Light, baby, says Mastermind.
Yeah.
The laugh was really all I needed.
Sorry. I can't hold.
And talking about your ammo stuff, it is worth also pointing out that in
Dumbo, make me invisible.
this activity,
Yes.
you're not super starved for ammo right
That's
now.
true, you know.
But in other activities, maybe something
You
where we have
missed.
famine
I did.
on, it could
so
even
far ahead.
become important for someone who's not running double specials
Right.
Sure, sure.
as well. So
You can
like,
anticipate really cool conversations like,
Yeah.
what are the mods? What are the burns? Like, what are the challenges
exactly
for this week? And,
Yeah.
right. And there might be a situation where like, hey, the burn in this particular strike or activity or whatever is particularly nasty. So let's all stock up on the void resistance mods or whatever, just to give ourselves a little bit of extra,
Yeah.
cushion.
Sure.
I would imagine like you would probably be like shifting things up as you if you want to go to a different activity or if you want to change out your loadout. It's relatively simple to just pop in and
Yeah.
bloop, 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 bloop. Just
Yeah.
make adjustments since the mods are no longer consumable. There's a small glimmer cost to slotting them, but otherwise it's pretty flexible for moving around.
But there will be activities where you lock the build, yes?
That's
Yes,
true.
that is
So
true.
make some very tough choices before you play one of those activities.
Yeah.
That's where we want teamwork to play a big role
Right.
as well, right? Like we did a little bit of pre-match coordination, but in particularly high difficulty activities, I think you're going to want to work together to make sure, hey, I'm covering this side, you cover that side.
Sure.
There are even mods, and we're not showing them off today, but there are even mods where, like, if Lisa, for example, she knew she was going to be starved for ammo, but she wanted to spend her mods on something else.
And punch it out with this guy.
And when I need to, I just go invisible and make everyone else invisible
Yeah.
too.
You know.
Are you going to let people save loadouts, or are they going to have to memorize their favorite loadouts and change them out from activity to activity?
I think this is where you're going to want to keep a couple of different pieces of armor handy. So like if you've got a particular loadout that you like for Crucible or whatever,
Yeah.
you might just have a Crucible set that you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to swap this out pretty quickly. Because you can have as many mods, or the mod socketed into as many pieces of armor as you want, it's pretty easy. And that's actually what I end up, I think I'm going to end up doing is basically saying like, okay, well, I'm going to use this literal Crucible armor set.
So
Okay.
you'll see that little dot over the head.
Boom.
And to play with each other's strengths and weaknesses. That's how it's going to go. This has just been a taste of how things are going to happen starting October 1st. Obviously, you won't have this many riches that they had to play with.
So
Going
many
to
riches.
need to play some Destiny. Going to need to go out and get some new armor pieces. We'll start you off with your Solstice set and one of your favorite exotics for each build. And from there, you'll be earning these mods. Pay a visit to the gunsmith. This has just been one way to build a Titan, a Warlock, and a Hunter. We can't wait for you to show us all of the other ways in which this is all going to go down.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much
Thank you.
Thanks for
for
having
the
us.
Thanks for having
master
us.
level thesis. Rodney, Lisa, Tomo. Playing in the development environment on test accounts. So if you're trying to send them friend invites, these are not the droids you're looking
Yeah.
for.